Hi, welcome to Mugu Games. This is Friday Night Magic. I'm Kevin Foster.
And I'm Joe McVeigh.
We have today Mike Bozo playing red green aggro. He's on the left, and we have Jason Caleb with a mono green aggro on the right.
Jason's going first after a mulligan. He plays a forest and passes his turn.
Mike can start off with a mountain and pass turn.
Jason plays another forest and passes turn again.
Here we go. We got a very exciting match going on with everybody just passing turn. Oh my god, somebody's playing a card, and it's going to be a Boros Reckoner. I'm a real fan of this card, Joe. What about you?
It definitely has potential in the current format. Looks like Jason's going to play a Tree of Redemption.
Ooh, haven't seen that in a while. Let's see. It's a good blocker for Boros Reckoner because it has 0 power. We are going to follow this through with a... It looks like a Hell Rider in swing. Hell Rider's obviously going to do 2 damage to Jason. And we'll see about blocks here.
Looks like Jason blocks with Tree of Redemption, takes 3 damage.
Yeah, it looks like he blocked the Hell Rider.
Jason's going to play a Wolfbeard Silver Heart on the Tree of Redemption paired. And passes his turn.
Now, I don't know about that. The tree was a perfect blocker for the Boros Reckoner, and now that it's got some strength, it's actually going to be able to work counterproductive for himself. Looks like Mike plays another Boros Reckoner. Now, I find that Boros decks tend to have trouble once a creature starts to get power over 5. It's really hard for them to kill it and find some answers because they don't tend to have creature destruction, more of just plain pain.
It looks like Jason's going to go ahead and play a Garut Primal Hunter.
What would you do at this point, Joe?
I mean, honestly, in this situation, I would probably just go probably for the draw, because I think power on board, he would definitely have it to kill the Hell Rider automatically.
Yeah. Draw 8 cards, get some trample to kind of deal with the Boros Reckoner would be nice.
Definitely.
Looks like he's going to make a beast, though. So. Alright, Mike's going to put a Rootbound Crag. And just go straight to combat. He's going to swing with 2 creatures. Hell Rider's going to deal 2. And let's see how he handles both Boros Reckoners. What would you do here, Joe?
It's tough in this situation. The damage is going to be going through, it's definitely going to be cutting pretty quick, but you kind of want to get rid of those Boros Reckoners. And with the Tree of Redemption, he has the life reset, so it'd just be best to block.
It looks like that's what he's going to do. And I agree. I think kill him because you'll take the 6 damage now, but you're going to take it anyways. Looks like he gets first strike to the first Boros Reckoner, which will kill the beast off, and the Tree of Redemption will kill the other one. You take 3 damage.
In that situation, I think the first strike would have actually been less effective. Because had he not thrown the first strike on, then he could have actually dealt additional damage to be a little bit lower, so like maybe spearing range, because he's already tapped out.
Dual Searing Spears is a way to go.
Or even Skullcrack, if you can respond to Skullcrack to the redemption.
Sure.
Oh.
Oh. Looks like we got some thinking going on here. It looks to me like Jason needs to find a way to get some trample and do quite a lot of damage to Mike quickly. But he's also in a position where he can stall out, pick some beasts, deal with some problems.
So he's going to put the group down to 1 and draw off of the Wolfbeard Silver Heart. He's going to draw 8.
Yes. This should give him exactly what he needs to play this turn.
In this situation, he really needs to start making a turnaround since his opponent is still at 20 life. Once red kind of has you sunk in like this, it's tough to make a turnaround.
Yeah, against red decks, stay above multiples of 3, and he's sitting at 9, which is scary life total.
play a Rancor on his Wolfir Silverheart, followed up by another Rancor, and a third one on top of that.
That's just mean.
That is. That's overkill.
Yeah.
He's going to swing for
14 damage. Looks like Mike's going to eat it all. Dropping him down to 6.
That's definitely the comeback that he needed.
I think by the fact that Mike took it there, I think he has something up his sleeve, so I wouldn't be surprised.
There's a Strangleroot Geist for Jason. And a Spire Tracer.
What is that card doing in his deck? I'm confused on that one.
Well, if you throw it, because Jason does play Primordial Hydra, if you throw it on Primordial Hydra when it's nice and big, it makes it very difficult to deal with.
Looks like Mike's going to attack and get 2 damage in from the Hell Rider and swing for 6.
Looks like Jason's deciding on blockers right now. In this situation, potentially just eat some of it. Oh, he's going to definitely go for the block on the Reckoner. Block the Hell Rider.
Yeah, I would block it. I wouldn't take any chances here. You got the Tree of Redemption on top, prepared to save your life. And you got lethal on board if Mike doesn't have an answer.
Sure. Also in that situation though, since you can block and then tap the Tree of Redemption, you can just bypass any damage that would go through.
Alright, let's find out if Mike has a wind in his hand. He's gonna Pillar of Flame him for 2, bring him to 3. He'll Searing Spear.
Looks like Jason's gonna reset. Oh, and a second Searing Spear in response.
Ouch! And that's death.
That is death.
Alright, well that's going to be the end of round 1. Interesting match. Didn't expect to see a mono green aggro deck, but looks like it can quickly turn around and deal some damage against even some aggro deck like Boros. Alright Joe, here we go for round 2. What kind of cards would you bring in for sideboard if you were playing Mike's deck?
Well, with Mike, he has the Pillar of Flame, so he can disperse a lot of, like, Mana Dorks, or even, say, like, the Strangleroot Geists.
Yeah, I agree. I think slowing down the Arbor Elf is a good way to deal with some problems.
Yeah, it looks like Mike's going to play a Stomping Ground tapped, and that's turn.
Jason's going to play a Strangleroot Geist and probably get in for 2, sure enough. And what do you think about Jason's sideboard? What options does he have here to deal with Boros?
Well, to deal with Boros, I mean, any effective life gain, I mean, he has those Tree of Redemption, so he has the resets. That's pretty much it. I mean, if he can just, like, sit down. And then he also has, so he's going to tap to play 3 Burning Emissaries.
A Rancor?
And then a Rancor, and the Pillar of Flames. That is just a combo on 2 lands.
That's, that can't happen too often, can it?
No, dumping your hand. Well, actually, with playing the Boros, or the Emissaries, you can totally do it.
Well, you need 3 in your hand to play 3 at once, but...
Even the 2, because you're still going to get that spare green and red off of it.
Here, Jason's going to start off with a Primordial Hydra at 3.
You know, that Primordial Hydra, you have to act to it fast, because every turn it doubles.
Yes. Perfect opportunity to Searing Spirit if you do have it in your hand.
He's going to swing 4 for the trample.
And Jason's back up. Primordial Trigger goes off.
Yeah, now that Primordial Hydra is a 6/6, that's pretty much out of burn range now.
Now it's got Rancor on it. Oh my god, another Rancor. We have 3 Rancors on the field at this point, Joe. And that's going to be a swing for 10. Half your life. 1 blast.
With red, you can definitely take the damage at times to be able to play around with your opponent. Sometimes it's just worth taking it so that way you have an open field on the next turn.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Both of us actually play red a lot, Joe, and we know our life total doesn't matter.
Yeah, Mike is definitely going to scoop on that one.
Alright, Mike is going to go first here.
He's going to play a mountain and pass turn.
And this looks like repeating here. Arbor Elf.
Mike's going to play another mountain. And a little bit of thinking. He's going to tap 1 to Pillar of Flames the Arbor. Oh,
and that's
Arbor
exactly
Elf.
what we were talking about last turn, and it's going to give him the time he needs to develop a strong damage with Hell Rider and some creatures. Jason's gonna Strangle Root Geist and swing for 2 again.
I think maybe in that situation, had he held onto that Pillar Flames to see for more of... Oh, no, there's a second pillar, so he had 2.
Gone.
He's prepped.
Well, if you don't pillar the Arbor Elf, you get a Strangle Root with a Rancor on it swinging at you, and that's not fun either.
Yeah. Strangle Root and Rancor just go hand in hand so well. He's going to play Rootbound Crag. He's going to pass the turn.
Jason's going to play Dreadbridge Goliath, a card you don't see too often.
I think Jason was packing at least 2 in his deck.
Yeah, I think I've seen at least 2 throughout the night. They're the promo versions.
I'm more for the promo version.
Swing for 5.
Mike is definitely going to take that. If only he had something on the field to help interact.
Yeah, it looks like he's just been playing land. We've seen the 2 Rancors, but it's kind of odd for Boros not to play creatures at this point.
Yeah, I mean, hitting consecutive land drops like that without answers... Well, there's a Hellrider, but...
Yeah, Hellrider for 1 on the trigger isn't very impressive. I'm wondering if he's top decking at this point.
It seems like he's digging pretty hard right now. This is one of the issues with red, is after a while it can really peter out.
Jason's going to swing for 5 before he plays the spell. Which obviously Mike has to eat again. Oh, Primordial Hydra. That's going to start out as a 4/4, slightly out of Searing Spear range.
Yes, you have to use at least double burn to get through that at this point.
Or burn after block.
Oh,
Mizium
there's
Mortar.
Mizium Mortars. That I forgot.
That's a perfect play.
It is. And he's going to get the trigger off that and swing in for another total 4 off of the Hellrider. And in his turn, we're playing a Strongperk Noble. Might be a little late game for that, but it can still make a difference.
Yeah, Jason still got a 5/5 on the battlefield. He lost the Hydra, obviously, was going to be his primary weapon. So let's see what he does with his Beetle. We're going to see another Spire Tracer. Nice chump blocker at this point. Thinking, doing some internal math here. Now the Elf is perfect blocker for the Stromkirk Noble because block can kill that thing before it gets big.
Exactly. That's one of the only kryptonites to the Stromkirk Noble is things that aren't human.
Yes.
Just make quick work of it.
Back in the day, during the Innistrad block was the last block in Standard. It was pretty advantageous for the Stromkirk. It's seen some diminishing returns, but you can get it out first and your opponent doesn't have a 1-drop.
True. But it looks like he's going to get in there with the Hellrider and the Stromkirk. And yeah, it looks like the Hellrider's going to get blocked. So he got the 2 off of that at least, taking Jason down to 10. And Elf blocks the Stromkirk.
That's Searing Spear.
Searing Spear to get the damage there. And then an extra Stromkirk at the end.
The Searing Spear is really good. I mean, the
Pillar
Pillar of Flame, because now you can't scavenge that beetle there. Garruk Relentless. He's going to fight and flip. And it looks like we're starting to come back to a stalled battle state. I expect that Garruk Relentless. It's more of a 4-drop kill creature than it is anything useful these days.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, he's going to Pillar of Flames it again. How many Pillar of Flames is that so far this game? I think it's all 4.
Pass turn. We're back to the beginning of the game here.
This game just keeps resetting. I think Mike may have actually ran out of answers at this point.
We've got 4 or 5 pass turns here.
And a Burning Tree Emissary. Nothing else from the hand, though.
Something on board. It's not impressive. See, Jason's got to play. He's got another Dreadbridge Goliath.
The Dreadbridge Goliath, that thing just gets vicious over time.
Yeah, if he had the other one in the graveyard at this point, he could scavenge it and make it a lot bigger.
Gonna run in for the 2 with the Burning Tree Emissary.
Now, is this some kind of trick tactic? Or
Yeah, actually, he expected the chump block and did the pillar to get rid of it.
And that's actually fine for Jason. Even an elf at this point, it's a 6/6 with the scavenge ability, and Jason clearly has enough mana to do it.
And another strong Kirk for Mike.
I think is that all 4 from his deck today? Or?
I think that's 3 or 4. We're definitely there.
Dreadbridge Goliath. Oh, and he has enough mana to immediately make it a 10/10. That's going to be a problem if he can get some trample.
Yeah, at this point, there's 0 chance Mike has of getting rid of that.
No. This is why I prefer a little bit of black in my red decks.
Well, I mean, you still have some of the white. Like you could chuck in Aurelius Fury or even Boros Charm to help out. Looks like no blocks, so the Strong Kirk is going to get in there for the 1.
Ooh. I wonder if he was trying to trick him.
Well, at this point, I mean, that's a 10/10 Goliath. He's got no blocks on board, so I think that's pretty much it if he swings through.
Ooh, Garuk. He's going to immediately -3 Garuk and draw 10 cards. He's got a 10/10 on the field. Ooh, looks like Jason there only drew 6. He should have drew 10.
He's going to ram court. There's the scoop.
It's not really going to matter at that point because the trample just kills him.
Yeah.
Oh, he had a Mizium Mortar in his hand. I'm not sure if there's anything he could do. It looks like he kept a handful of Pillar of Flames and
yeah, he was playing.
kept getting mana instead of creatures at that point.
He was playing utility red at that point. You kind of just sit back and just kind of play the control and try to hope that you get enough on board. But with all those big fatties that the green deck can pop out, there's
you play red deck. How do you handle that kind of thing?
Speed nutrition. That is pretty much the only way. You got to beat them before turn 5.
And just have some kind of burn to go over the top of creatures at that point. We didn't see Jason. He didn't have any Thragtusk in his deck. I think Thragtusk could have made it much more difficult for Mike to deal with.
Yeah, because with green, with Thragtusk in there, it makes it a bit more campy because then you can sit behind some of your bigger guys. And I mean, having trees on board, the Tree of Redemption, it's just a constant reset, and it's just going to keep happening.
Exactly. Do you think Jason's deck is going to be around in Standard more? Do you think we're going to see more of it, or do you think